Today's topic of discussion is incel mentality. So I see a lot of videos on the internet circulating about how you need to be earning six figures, you need to be 6 feet, and you need to have at least 6 inches in order to get women. So in this video, we're going to be discussing how guys on the internet have developed an incel type mentality and how it's destroyed their mindsets when it comes to developing a relationship with a woman. So first point is preference. Now I'm going to play this 30-second clip for you guys of a woman who says that she likes to date black guys only. So I'm going to play this now for you guys.
What kind of man are you looking for in America?
Black.
Why do you like a black man versus a Turkish man?
Because the black men are so masculine, so gentlemen. I'm not dating with Turkish guys.
Why not?
I don't like dating with them. No, I'm waiting with American guys.
Why do you want an American guy, not a Turkish guy?
They are so masculine. I
Really?
don't like Turkish men. They are so jealous. They can accept me who I am. They are not my type.
So let me ask you this. A girl that's watching this, she wants to get a black man. What can you do to get a black man?
They love curly girls. Curvy, yeah.
Okay, so you guys are back now. So you've had a watch of that video. You've seen how that woman, she's saying she only wants to go with black guys and how she hates dating Turkish guys. Now, I'm going to break this down in a few simple concepts for you guys. There's a difference between preference and respect and love. Now, with a woman, she can have a preference. So with that woman, she's saying she's got a preference towards black guys. So she wants to only go with black guys. That's her preference. Now the question is whether or not she respects and loves that guy. Now you can have a preference towards a certain ethnicity, certain skin color, or body type, you name it. The question is whether or not you're going to actually stay with that person in the long run and long term. That's what the difference is. There's a massive difference between short term and long term relationships. Now, with that woman there, she's saying a whole bunch of stuff. There's certain hidden messages within what she's saying. Now, from my understanding, she was saying how she only likes black guys. I'm going to make a few assumptions here, which, from my understanding, is going to be pretty factual. So I'm going to break it down. She was saying how she only goes with black guys because these guys are deemed as masculine. Now, let's look at the facts of the situation. If you look at the black community, they are amongst the highest when it comes to single parent households. Now, when you're raised in a single parent mother household, you're going to tend to develop feminine qualities. Now, with that woman, she was saying other stuff about how black guys treat her well. She gets to do what she wants. She's able to roam around freely. Now, she also mentioned American guys. Now, from my understanding, Western societies and Western countries have really taken a toll on gender roles. So they've been reversed. Men are behaving feminine, women are behaving masculine. So from that woman's behavior, I can see how she's actually comfortable being in the leadership position, a controlling position, where she's able to dictate what happens in the relationship. Now, that woman there, she may have even had previous experiences, several experiences with both Turkish guys and black guys, but she's come to the realization that she can gain more power and control over black guys. Now, this isn't to try and say, oh yeah, black guys are bad or anything like that. This is not about race. It's literally about understanding the dynamics of culture and society. Now, she mentioned Black American. Now, as I've mentioned earlier on, they've literally got the highest, amongst the highest when it comes to single parent households. So arguably, you could say the black community is the most emotional as a default. Now, you think, oh wow, Omar, why are you saying that for? Well, that's what it is. This is, if you're raised in a household which is a single parent household and you're raised with predominantly women, you're gonna by default become more feminine. Now, there's certain guys, right, within all communities, within, let's say, the white community, Asian community, so brown community, raised in single parent households, raised by females only, and guess what's gonna happen to them? They are also going to be feminine as well. So what these guys on the internet, they don't seem to understand that these women here can have a preference, but I don't mean that it's just, that's the be all and end all. That's concrete logic, yes or no. You know, she can come across, let's say, a white guy who she finds attractive in other areas, which I want to mention afterwards. But she comes across, let's say, a white guy, he's got certain characteristics within him that tick hypergamy. She's going to likely have a long-term relationship with that guy. But she said that she's got a preference towards black guys. So she may end up only having short-term relationships with those sets of guys. That's what the issue is. You know, so if you're not forming long-term relationships, healthy relationships, doesn't matter if a woman's saying, oh yeah, I want this ethnicity or skin color. It doesn't make a difference because she's jumping from guy to guy to guy. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I see that as a low-quality woman. A woman who's just purely focused on external. Just as how a guy comes along and says, I want a woman, she needs to have big boobs, she needs to have a big bum, she needs to look pretty, and if she doesn't, I don't want to talk to her. Imagine there's certain guys who actually like that. They want a certain ethnicity. I remember back in school days, right? Certain sexual deviants in our classes, they've been watching too much filth, X-rated content on the internet. They were like, I want to marry a Latina girl. I want to have a relationship with so-and-so. You know, these people here, they're not thinking with their brains. They're thinking down there. You know, there's a saying, right? Up here for thinking, down there for dancing. That's what these guys are doing. These guys aren't doing that. They're literally just, they're flipping. I don't even know if I should say this. Their brain is inside their flipping private parts. I'm going to keep it PG. That's what the problem is. These guys, they are literally just thinking with their private parts. Just as how men and women, they've both become hypersexualized. Now, do you think that woman could say that stuff in front of the camera 100 years ago? No way. You know, because her dad, her brothers, masculine men in her life would teach her the correct feminine way of doing things. You know, you don't go on the internet, you know, showing your cleavage. So if I'm that woman, she's just showing her cleavage. She's got tight dresses on. Her face looks fake as well. Got plastic surgery done. All that makeup on. You know, that ain't confidence. That ain't a person who's secure within themselves. That's somebody who's insecure within themselves. Who has to downgrade and try and, not downgrade, but as in you have to try and lower a certain ethnicity, which is, let's say, her Turkish ethnicity. She has to try and belittle them and try and shame them and try and promote another ethnicity. You know, that's not respectable. So that leads us to the next point when it comes to respect. Now, do you think that type of woman is going to form a healthy longevity relationship? Answer is no. And there's certain guys in the comment section, incels, they're coming along and saying, black guys get all women. They're like, only guys with big down there, they get all the women. Completely untrue. Right now, all ethnicities are struggling with relationships. White, black, Asian, white, black, brown, yellow, whatever skin color you are. The system is programming people on a day-to-day basis. You know, so when respect goes down in the eyes of a woman, when guys see a woman and take her words word for word as 100% gospel, that's what the problem is. That's when you experience a breakdown in your relationships. Now, what that woman was saying in the video, there's certain hidden messages within what she's saying. Now, but for regular guys, they're taking that for word. They're thinking, oh look, black guys, we get all women. Or look how many women we get. And then you got certain other guys who are like incels as well. From, let's say, another ethnicity. They're like, look at this. It proves that how we're of the wrong ethnicity. We was born with the wrong skin color. Or we was born from a wrong cultural background, or whatever BS. Don't want to take no accountability for the fact is that they're just a bum loser. You know, I'm seeing them right now more and more common for guys on the internet complaining that women don't want them for X reasons. So whether it's skin color, money, status, height, you name it, all this external stuff. There's certain things that they can't even control. And then they're saying that, it's because of that. That's why women don't want them. But the truth of the matter is, they haven't developed their internal. And that's what I mentioned in my other videos as well. There's certain internal qualities and characteristics that you can control. It will allow you to differentiate yourself from all other guys. It will raise a woman's respect. And that's what it is, respect. It's the most important thing when it comes to a woman staying in a relationship with you guys. As soon as the respect goes down, as soon as it's lowered, that's when she'll get dissatisfied. Now, I'll list some points in terms of respect. So, let's say guy's got good personality, he's got good confidence, good hygiene, good sense of humor, good people skills, is able to influence people in society, has good fitness, so takes care of himself, good discipline, good family values, has a strong connection with God, provides a lot of value to society. The list goes on. Those are internal characteristics and internal traits that you can control. I'll list a few more. Someone who's ambitious. Somebody who's able to go through hardships. All those things right there, that satisfies hypergamy. And then I'll list one more for you guys, which is one of the most important things. Principles and boundaries. A man with strong principles and boundaries. He's got a strong masculine frame. When you've got all those areas covered, a guy who's got, let's say, 6-figure income, he's got, 6 figures, 6 feet, and 6 inch. Incels, they're saying that, oh yeah, those guys get the most women. You'll see how a woman's respect goes down if he doesn't have all those other things that I've listed. Her respect will start to drop significantly. She won't view that guy as long-term potential. So that's what you guys want a woman to view you guys as. Somebody who's long-term potential. And guess what? When you're viewed as long-term potential, a woman's going to throw more tests at you guys. More interest tests. It's going to become more and more difficult to try and pass her tests. Reason being because she knows full well if you're really a man of value, you're going to be able to break her. So if you was to decide to leave, or let's say she was to get pregnant and she's left vulnerable, it would be really difficult to try and replace you guys. Because guess what? The respect is so high. You tick multiple areas of hypergamy. That's what the issue is with these incel type guys. These incels on the internet, they're saying, I don't want a woman to test me. Women shouldn't be testing guys. Any woman who tests me, I'm not going to be interested. These same loser incel type guys are going to continue struggling with women for the rest of their life until they fix their mindset. It's within women's nature to test you guys. And then when you keep passing the tests, a woman's going to become more attached and more obsessed with you guys. So that leads us to the next point when it comes to loser. The incels come up with excuses and they're losers in life. They always focus on the things that they don't have and that they can't control, rather than actually focusing on the things that they can control. Now, my friend Joe, shout out to Joe, OG. He's been through divorces, he's got kids, and he's got a lot of life experience. Right now he's with his missus. He's been together for about 25 years. So his first partner, he split up with his first wife, and then now he's with a new partner. And he was saying to me as well, there's always someone out there for you. So you're saying this, you can be the ugliest guy, you can be a guy who's just ain't got nothing going for himself. There's always going to be someone out there for you. Now, that mindset there is called abundance mindset. The mindset of where if this woman here you don't connect with, she don't tick your standards, your requirements, or if she's not attracted to you, whichever it is, there's always going to be somebody else who's going to want a relationship with you guys. But the loser incel type guys, they don't think like that. They think short term. They think present moment. They think, what am I right now? You know, they don't see potential within themselves. You know, and by default, do you think a woman's going to be attracted to that? You know, a woman can sense energy and sense whether a guy is actually confident within himself. That's why it's so attractive to a woman when it comes to confidence. Because women are naturally insecure by their nature. So when they see a guy who's confident within himself, he's secure within himself, that makes her feel good around him. You know, that's how a woman develops feelings in the long term, over extended periods of time. You know, that's what makes a woman fall in love. You know, because she could have like a certain attraction towards a certain set of people. So with that woman at the beginning, she was saying, oh yeah, she only wants black guys. But that same woman, she may end up having a relationship with a white guy or a brown guy because of the reasons that I've listed. Or it could be a black guy, whichever it is. But the fact is, those other areas are more important. Now, I'm going to list some turn-offs for you guys, for women. So a guy who's a bum loser, no ambition, complains all the time, somebody who blames other people, doesn't take no accountability, somebody who hasn't got a strong spiritual connection with God, somebody who hasn't got respect for people. What else is there? Somebody who doesn't want to level himself up. Needy. Desperate. Other women don't want him. Do you see where I'm going with this? Losers. These guys here are lowering a woman's respect. You know, those things are going to turn off a woman. So just how that woman there, she's saying she's attracted to a certain guy. When he starts doing those things there, you see how quickly she starts losing respect for him. She'll categorize that guy as a flipping loser. You know, you don't want to be anywhere near that. You want a woman to have high amount of respect for you guys at all times. So, final point is recovery. These guys here who are incels, you can recover. Some guys who are watching this right now, they may have an incel mentality without even realizing it. They might be thinking that they can't get women, or they're struggling with women, or women don't want them. As you level yourselves up, guys, as you improve yourselves, you're gonna get rid of this mentality. you're going to realize that there's so many women to choose from. These women here don't fit your standards. They don't fit your requirements. You're just deciding who to choose from. You want to be in that state of mind and actually experience that. You don't want to be the other type of incel guy. Doesn't have no women want him, isn't speaking to women for marriage purposes, has quit the marriage market, doesn't want anything to do with the relationships. Some of these guys, they end up quitting completely. They say that, I don't want to focus on women, I don't want to talk about women, I don't want nothing to do with them. Those same guys develop an incel mentality. They're not even focused on their purpose. Family and children is part of legacy. It's really important when it comes to masculinity. Some people, they don't care about family and children and legacy. Well, those are the type of guys who don't end up doing well in life. God doesn't like those type of people. Guys who are just literally self-centered, arrogant, just focus purely on themselves. If you just focus on yourself and you're not actually trying to develop yourself, but as in provide value and have a relationship with a woman and have children, how can you provide value? Part of being a man is giving back to society. So with, let's say, wife, children, whatever income you're earning, you're providing for them. And that's raising then the future generations when it comes to righteous people. You can't do things on your own, by yourself. Some of these guys think, oh yeah, I can just be a lone ranger. I can stay celibate the rest of my life. So these guys here, late 20s, 30s, 40s, they're saying to themselves, I don't want a woman, I don't need a woman. I'm just going to focus on myself. What does that lead to? It leads to just self-destruction. So just to wrap up, preference. Men and women, they can have a preference, but incels, they take the preference as gospel. They take it for concrete. This is what the person wants. It's just not true at all. A guy can say, oh yeah, I want a woman who looks pretty, got a flipping big bum, big boobs, and all this other BS. But he ends up getting with a woman who isn't that. But she's actually providing peace to his life. She's providing value to his life. He ends up having a relationship with that woman. Because he realized that, oh yeah, that was just nonsense, what I was saying. Now it's the same thing with that woman at the beginning. She may later on realize that I was just talking rubbish. Or she may not. Either way, people have got preferences. But I don't mean that you can't get that woman. If you tick other areas of hypergamy. So next one after that was respect. Respect will increase when you're able to work on the things that you can control. So the things that you can control, that will raise a woman's respect. And that's what leads to a long-term relationship. So respect equals love. So it's really important you guys write that down. You want to maintain respect at an all-time high. And the next point after that was loser. The incels, guys in the comment section, they talk about ethnicity, race, skin color, external BS, money, status. They don't look at internal characteristics. That's why they have failed relationships. That's why they suck with women. Because they're focused on the wrong things in life. And then the final point was recovery. Now, the incels can recover, but it takes self-development, it takes real internal work, and to remove the programming. To actually develop an understanding of female nature. Because females want what they cannot have. So you can refer to my video on female nature revealed, so Adam and Eve, and you'll understand that. Because that woman there, she probably was raised in a household that may have hated black people. And then she thought, okay, let me go and try that. She may have been raised by like a racist dad or something. And then in her head, she was seen as forbidden fruit. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.